Julia, from your experience working particularly in the field of paediatrics and psychology, working particularly with children and families, what does that mean in terms of open conversations about grief? And how do you balance individual grief and maybe wider community trauma?
I mean, what I learned from there is that often in families, we want to protect the children around us. Like we don't want them to suffer and to feel pain and to be worried. But actually, what children and young people don't know is much more frightening than the truth. And so that families, and I think societies that have open conversations where everybody has the same truth, you then build trust. And then that allows families to look at the difficulties, to look at the pain, as Andy said, that pain is the agent of change. It's only by allowing ourselves to feel the pain and acknowledge the pain that we begin to heal. So that although within a family system and a societal system, everyone will have their default mode of coping, which may be very different from each other, my kind of image is that if you look at them on the inside, the levels of the pain are very, very similar, although they may be showing completely differently. So a young teenager may not want to talk about his pain or his distress and be on his Game Boy, or, you know, refuse to kind of think about it and want to go out with his mates, although that's not happening now. And a grandparent may always kind of shut down and not want to talk about loss, but sort of make cottage pie or do something that is their kind of language of love. And I think what is important in family systems and societal systems is to understand our different languages of love and communication, because where there's loss, there's love, and it's always about that. And the more open we are and the more we listen and allow each other to express what they feel without judgment, then you build the trust, and then you can move towards hope, as Alex and Andy were talking about. And hope is the alchemy that turns a life around. And even now, where you know, people are going into winter, there's lockdowns heading towards us very fast. People are feeling, you know, in the spring, there was this kind of blitz spirit that they kind of gave you cortisol and adrenaline to face the difficulties. Now I think people feel depleted and worn out, and the difficulties the hill looks higher and more difficult. But the thing that really helps us is when we, as a society, come together and connect each other and recognize that we each have value and that we each are important and that we need to be heard. And of course, as Alex also said, that this is not an equalizing loss. You know, those that already have difficulties, mental health difficulties and other difficulties, do suffer more at times like this. So it's behoven on all of us to reach out to those that need us most.